Okay, hi, hello everyone. My name is Yolande, and thanks again, Babatunde, for the shout out. I was not expecting it, but thank you. So hi everyone. My name is Yolande. I have a platform, and our role essentially is we guide people who are looking to come to the US for school. We guide them with their applications and then just the journey, just the entire journey. Any questions, information you have, or information you need, we provide that information. And we also work with people who are already in the US to on their journey and provide somewhat of a community of professionals helping professionals. So our goal is really just to educate, engage, and empower people to be successful. So our platform is called Naija to America. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and we also have a YouTube channel as well where we record videos to help people. So that's a little bit about me. That's what I do.
Okay, great. You wonder if you just have your email to share in the chat box, I'm sure people would, or the link to your platform, I'm sure people would be excited about that. And don't be surprised if we reach out to you to come be a guest on the webinar as regards personal statements, just as Babatunde has mentioned. We'll be more than happy to have you on board.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to help in any way I can. And I will put my information in the chat box.
Okay, thank you very much. So
Thank you.
Babatunde, back to you with some of the questions we have here. I think we already reached our peak. You were talking about GRE GMAT. I'll just allow you to conclude on that. Are these exams ranked on the same level?
Yes, they are. Yeah. So most schools release their GMAT like numbers. So it's usually harder to know what the GRE numbers are. So, for my school, GMAT average is 735 or so. That's like 730 or 735. That's like pretty high. So I don't know what the GRE average is because they don't release it. So most of the schools have less than 30% that do GRE. But that said, I feel like for Africans seem to do better on GRE than GMAT. Yeah. Somebody said it's 330 for GRE. Sorry, so thank you very much, Chizitere. Somebody said it's 330 for, okay, that's high. I think GRE is 340 maximum, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that is that's very high. So it is, thank you for putting that information out. I didn't even know that. So you could always see what it means, like 330 or 730. So go for it.
Yeah.
But what I would advise is do the practice exams for both. See which one you think you are as close to 330 or 730 as possible. Then more or less build on it.
So you have some questions here, please. Okay. Must we apply with the mindset of getting jobs with companies? How about entrepreneurs who want to launch businesses that consult with people on a global scale?
Okay, so it depends, right? At the beginning, I said that you can either want to work you could either want to join the employers, or you want to start like a business or do something in the world. For example, I joined as an entrepreneur, actually. I didn't try to get a job, right? But that's it. Most people try to get a job from an MBA. Most of the schools have very strong entrepreneurship programs. Harvard's entrepreneurship program is very good. If you're an entrepreneur and you are looking at maybe scaling business or trying to set up a business, some of the schools that have very strong entrepreneurship programs are MIT Sloan. MIT Sloan's entrepreneurship game is very high because MIT's technology and entrepreneurship. Stanford is also high up there for entrepreneurship. Harvard is very, very strong in entrepreneurship too. I feel like the schools in the East, Harvard, Wharton is finance, but Wharton's entrepreneurship is not bad. Harvard, Stanford is on the West though. MIT, which other maybe to some extent. Booth is very finance, everybody's always abusing them. So Booth is, if you want to go and do finance.
Is another entrepreneurial school. It's in the Midwest. Olin, Washington University. Washington. I think it was ranked #1 on the entrepreneurial rank. They're growing pretty good. Yes.
I'm just surprised. There's another school called Babson College, though.
Yeah, that's Olin as well, but it's Babson College.
Yeah, exactly. But if it was Babson College, yeah. So what I would say about the entrepreneurship thing is, I hear you, right? But for the person that wants to do entrepreneurship, so optimize for that. Try to get into the schools that give you a good chance of doing entrepreneurship very well, but also keep your options open. And this is me, an entrepreneur, telling you that you keep your options open. Like, also try to get into what else. I mean, for me, it was Edubridge, trying to do something on a global scale and all. But I was still very mindful of. When I came here, I still went to Goldman Sachs came, Microsoft, all the other companies came, Google, Amazon. I went to go and listen to them, BCG. I ate their food, see if I would like them. I mean, that kind of thing. Go for that networking. So just keep your options open to say, even if entrepreneurship is good, and this is why I'm saying you keep your options open. The scale of opportunities in the US are much bigger than how you can understand if you're in Nigeria. And this is me telling you, there are companies in the US that are Fortune 30 companies that you've never heard their name. They have so many big companies. The employment opportunities are higher, especially for top elite programs, that you might want to keep that option open and say, let me also explore this way. When I was coming, I thought this is the only thing I could do, and I still want to do it. I'm not saying you should lose your mind or change your mind, but this is actually super interesting. How did they do it? And you can just find out that maybe your passion changes, or there's something else that you like, or you can pick a knowledge or a skill that you can bring back or network. So very open-minded and try to optimize not only for one thing, but for 2 or 3 different things or outcomes in your life. Right.
Great. Before we go quickly into the rest of the few questions we have, Amarachi will post a link to how you can join the WhatsApp group or become a member of Lane. So she would share that with you. I think we already talked about what Lane is all about. And one thing we do regularly is we host webinars like this, where we try to bring in students of various MBA programs to talk about specific things. And one thing that we're also trying to do to encourage people is to start learning how to network and reach out to people and speak. Because I think a very good, important part of the application process is reaching out to current students and understanding what your school requires. I know when I was doing interviews, someone just told me, you know what, you can't do your interview with the admission committee without using the word innovation 3 times. And I got in. So specific things like that are not on their website. It comes with conversations with people. So if there's one thing you need to start doing now, you think June, you think August is a long time. It is not. There are a lot of, and I think I'll just quickly say that, Amarachi, you can please post the link. Jumpstart has already started a program for MBA admission. Poet and Quant has started that as well. There are many sessions like that where you can interact with the admission officers that you need to start now. This is June. If you're thinking of going in fall, you need to start preparing for GMAT, GRE now. Me, I'm biased to GRE because I think it's very good for us and the background will come in. But you need to go in full throttle, or else you might just stand the risk of not getting admission or getting admission or not being able to go. As I'm quickly learning, admission is not enough. Admission is not enough. You need that funding, especially right now. I think the other question I want to throw to you about today, and I think you've done an amazing job. Before I score you today, I'll give you 150 over 100. And I'm saying 150 because I don't want to give you all the marks. You know, we can't rate you on the scale of 100. The question I want to ask is about filtering advice. You know, people filtering advice and recommendation.
Okay.
When you're applying, people will have different advices. If there's a word like that for me today, they would have their own different ways of how to see things. How do you take that advice and look at it through the lens of your own experience and pick what you need to pick from it?
Well, that's an amazing question. One thing I found very interesting, or that's very helpful for me, is try to have an understanding of what you're asking people for in the first place, so that you must have a bit of like a solid core, right? So that people don't shape you according to how they think about life. I see that a lot where people give you their perspectives and they expect you to live by it. First thing first, right? You're asking for advice, and the person might be right, the person might be wrong, but the person probably knows more than you at that particular point in time. They've lived in a certain place, but you should have done a bit of research. There's nothing like diligent basis. I like to say that thing every time. Like, you must have done a bit of the work to understand certain things. And some of the advice that you get from people is also very dependent on how you come into what questions you ask. if you come into Kellogg and you ask him about Kellogg and you've not done a lot of research, I'll just tell you what Kellogg is to me. It may not give you the totality of what Kellogg is because I'm just one person. So before you even get to that advice part, right, for you to maximize whatever advice people give you, you have to have a minimum threshold of understanding of what you're asking about. And chances are that you will get better advice from people if you are prepared yourself. If you go in, you know the questions you're going to ask them, you've done a bit of preliminary research, they know that you've done more work. And the good thing about that is that sometimes people like the level of work that you've done and they're willing to help you themselves, right? So for advice, the best filtering mechanism is to know something on your own. That's the first step. Second step is to use a multiplicity of sources. I'm not going to form all my opinion from one person. For example, if I want to pick a school, I would have read a lot about the school itself. Then I'm going to speak to about 3 or 4 different people. I know that you may say, I don't have the luxury of 3 or 4 different people. One thing I like the internet for is that the world, everybody that has spoken about that school on the internet is in your network. So I like to go to Quora, right? There was a time that Quora was sending me Wharton, Harvard, Kellogg. If anybody writes anything that's been done about those schools before, they will just send it to me because I've done a lot of research. Some of the questions that you have about a school, someone must have asked that question before on the internet. And if you are lucky, someone else has answered. Use those ones as like a background. Then you can now get to people. I'm going to speak to, in terms of information sources, I'll speak to the admission of the school. I'll speak to alumni, then I'll speak to students. If you try to speak across those three different stakeholders, chances are that you're going to get a mosaic of information that you can now choose from. Admissions will try to get you to come to their school in the first place. But that's it. There's a way to hack that process. Don't go and talk to the admission of a school when you've not done some research or understanding of yourself. People will rate you based on how they see you. Even if you tell them and say stuff like, I'm still exploring, let them know what you've read about the school. Let them know, give them a very good pitch about yourself, such that they're like, wow. Oh, I like you already. They're going to flag your name.
They take notes.
Thank you. They're going to flag your name and say, this person asked us about this school. Then ask them whatever you want to ask them. Then show a lot of enthusiasm. Show that you are interested in the school, even if you are not, right? And ask them specific things. One thing we don't like to do in Nigeria is that we will say, I want scholarship. Or, if I go and tell them that I want scholarship, they'll say this one doesn't even want to come to our school. No, you tell them, I really love this school. I've done this, I've done that. I want to check everything. Then I want to know about admission process, how it is for, what is the Black community in your school? What is the African community? I'm interested in social impact. I'm interested in funding. Ask them everything. They might connect you to current students. Kellogg, my school connects me to a lot of applicants. Every week, they're going to be like, hey, Baba, somebody wants to come to this school. They're interested in this. One time, I'm just tired. I can put all of them in the same call and speak to them at the same time because you are like an ambassador, right? But they're going to note you if they like you. So ask admissions and be very clear. Ask them everything that you want to ask. And second one is ask alumni, because admission is also part marketing. They are trying to get you to come to that school if they like you. So they'll give you the best thing about their school. Ask alumni across a wide range. You went to this school, how was the experience there? How was the culture? How were the people? Did you enjoy yourself? How did they help you with career? What industries can you get into? You left 2 years ago. What do you think you could have done better in your application when you get into the school? Ask alumni those. Then current student. I feel like any school that you want to get into, and I think Sam has already taken this off me, right? The people in that school that are the ones that will teach you the answer. Think about it like this. The students in a school, they will tell you, you want to come to our school, do this, don't worry. He said the thing about innovation, write innovation 2-3 times, right? People in Kellogg, and that was another reason why I came to Kellogg, because I really like the school. The way they helped me in my application process. Another school that I really liked that I didn't eventually choose was MIT Sloan. The president of the Africa Student Association looked at me, we spoke, and she was like, wow, Babatunde, I want you to come to this school. So send me everything. And she took time, read my essays, changed it, called me. I mean, she was disappointed I didn't come eventually, right? But the point is, the current students will help you with admission strategies, admission tactics. then they are going to review your essays.
Mm.
There's nothing like a current student reviewing your essay because they're in that school. They know everything about the school. They know admission. In fact, I mean, depending on the school, right? Because students also play a bigger role in some schools than the others. So speak to these three people. The things that are recurring from all these different stakeholders, then plus what you see online, that is the best advice that you can get. I don't think you need to filter anymore because you've used a multiplicity of sources to get that information. So I think that's the best way I can answer your question.
Babatunde, thank you very much. And I just want to reiterate what you said. See, the act to full funding is speaking and networking with current students. But before you do that, make sure you understand yourself. Make sure you're going into that conversation and you know what you want to get out of it. Don't go and be asking them, what is your school all about? Because that is online. Ask them questions they cannot get online. And the act to it is starting your question with based on your experience. When you ask a question and you start with based on your experience, that person cannot ask you to go online because more often than not, their experience is not online. Now, that said, I just want you to quickly round up on rankings. More often than not, ranking systems. More often than not, we just find people who base all of their decisions on ranking. What advice do you have around that? Because for me, I think ranking systems, you have to ask yourself, what are the motives for these rankings? Who are those behind it? So what advice do you have on that? And once we cover that, we'll say thank you and round up today's session, which has been amazing in my own opinion.
Yeah, so rankings, right? So I like prestigious programs, and I said that at the beginning. So I sort of looked at rankings, but rankings are also, I think you should look at rankings from a time series perspective, not only from I'm applying today and I'm going to look at the ranking today, right? I'm going to look at rankings over time, because over time, you are going to see what is standard or what is substance and what is not substance. Do you get? Don't look at it over like 10 years. Then you're going to say, oh, these guys are always they're always in this position. So it sort of removes whatever fluctuation that things might be. That different rankings might have. Also look at different rankings. I didn't focus too much on rankings also, by the way, because if you've done a good job of thinking of yourself very well, thinking of what you want to do, I feel like the biggest driver of what school you should choose should be, what do you want to do after your MBA? What is your post-MBA goal? I keep going back to these fundamental things because if I had figured out clearly and I'd written it down, what do I want to do with my MBA, I would not write 30-something draft of my essay, because these things they will bite you later if you don't know what you really want. Your choice of school should be dependent on what do you want to achieve. Some schools are not very popular from a rank perspective, but they are very strong in what you want to do. Let me give you a good sense for how the US is. Most people don't understand how complex the United States is. It's a very big country. It's probably in terms of size, it's like the size of Europe, right? It's very big. Now, the different parts of the US, they're like countries. California is on one end. Seattle is up, like Washington. Then there is New York and Pennsylvania, the other guys. They're on another side. If you are traveling, if you fly from New York to Seattle or you fly to California, the flight is 5 or 6 hours. That is like flying from Lagos to Ethiopia or flying from Lagos to Kenya. It's very far. And that is just one country. Now, they have different economic belts. They have the Midwest, they have the West for technology, right? And they have the East, commerce, business. They have technology there too. They have a lot of industrial belts in the Midwest. All these parts of America, they have a lot of jobs, a lot of peculiarities. So you might find a school that you don't know, like maybe Babson or Washington Olin, or a school like, my friend is in Kenan Flagler, and they have 2 or 3 big companies that you know that they recruit a lot from there. Or my friend is going to John Hopkins, and their healthcare program is very good. Best. So be clear, what do I want? Ranking is not everything. Many people go to top schools and the schools don't serve their purpose. What do you want? Which schools are best at what you want? The outcome you want might be just to leave Nigeria or to get into a type of company. My friend wanted to join Amazon or so. He didn't go to a top school. He went to a smaller school that Amazon comes to recruit there. and he got the opportunity to join them, right? So rankings are good. I see them as a way to filter schools. Let me tell you the biggest job of ranking for me is to know schools. Oh, these are all the schools that exist. Oh, I see. I'll now start checking them one after the other. But because you can't possibly know all the schools. There are probably 3,000 MBA programs in the US. That's a lot, right? So you will now decide what do you want to achieve. And I can use an example of Kellogg for myself. My best application was Kellogg because I went to a Kellogg event while I was in Lagos. Somebody told me, I went to Harvard, I went to Yale, I went to INSEAD also. Somebody told me, Sunday, one school is doing MBA stuff in Lagos. So also, I should also mention that going to all those MBA programs in Lagos, some of it was networking, some of it was to eat their food and just, because they also give us good food, right? And free food. After work, they're tired. And there's going to be good people that are going to be good people. Go meet them. And they were like, one school, Northwestern Kellogg. So, yeah, Shakira, let's eat their food. I absolutely love the school. And this is what I liked about Kellogg, and that's why I came, is they had MBAs sometimes sort of like to pretend, show that they are really good. I went to AU and people that know me know that I absolutely love Ife because I love the culture of that school. I like the fact that the school makes you to be very genuine. You sort of find yourself and there's not a lot of pretense. It's good and it's bad, right? What I found in Kellogg, when I went to Kellogg, I remember Ife straight times, right? But it was very natural, and that was why I liked it, right? I like the culture. I like the fact that people that go to that school absolutely love it, and they focus a lot on collaboration. What it matters is that after 5 years of MBA and 10 years of MBA, I want to really call my classmate and say, my company is expanding into India. I need you, and they're going to give me everything that they need because we built like a very good network, and my school is big on that. The value of your MBA is that global network. You are going to have classmates from all over the world. Are you going to have a worldwide network when you leave school after 20 years, when you're not going to be at the peak of your career or peak of government or peak of achievement? So think through all these things and optimize for the things that I feel are the best for you. So I think I'll just end on that note. So thank you
very much, Babatunde, for your time. And I want to say a very big thank you to everyone who's joined us today. You can join us next week for another webinar. We'll share the link to how you can get that information consistently. Babatunde, thank you. We're looking forward to having you once again. And I know I wanted to have a question around COVID and your experience, but I'm hoping that you're safe.
I can take it.
Yeah, please do. I'd like to think about how you are managing class and all that at the moment.
So I'm currently in online MBA. That's what we call our school right now, or Zoom MBA.
Zoom MBA, the Zoomers.
Yeah, Zoom MBA, because I'm in my room. I've probably been locked down since mid-March, right? So it's been harder. Chicago has not been as heat as New York or the other parts of the US, but my city alone has a lot of cases. My city is a very small, 70,000 people, but they have more cases than Nigeria, which is actually really funny. We've had to be very creative. Somebody was telling yesterday that if one school can pull off online MBA and COVID is Kellogg, right? Because I've been genuinely surprised by the people that are in my classmates and their willingness to help, because this school is very much like Nigeria. You know, that you'll be in Nigeria, you'll be walking in VR, you can be dancing on the road, or everybody will be greeting you. Enter bus, somebody that you don't know before will now say, brother, you not see the thing, and you not start discussing politics. You can't do that in the US because it's a lot more formal. People are not that close. Nobody cares about you. You and your wallet. It's a lot more formal. But Kellogg is slightly different. So it's like I'm in Lagos to some extent, right? Because the culture is pretty good. But that said, where people have felt it the most is not been in the academic, it's been jobs. A lot of people, though it didn't happen a lot, it didn't happen with my school because it's a top program also. A lot of people have had their internships rescinded. Many people that had jobs have had their jobs. It's not like Nigeria where people have not lost their jobs as much. Here, when anything happens, they just fire people. So the biggest problem for people has been more on the recruitment side. Are they going to have internships? Are they going to work? Almost all the internships are now virtual. You don't have to travel to that city anymore. You do it online. So the biggest disruption has been like everything moves online. We go to drink most times. We go to, don't worry, I drink water. I don't drink anything stronger than water. But we can't drink anymore. We can't meet people. You can't network. You can't build bigger relationships with people. That has reduced, and it sort of takes away from the MBA experience. But we've also been able to move all of those things online. We have dinners online. People do their birthdays online. We've tried to make the best out of a bad situation. But the good part is that I feel like COVID has also made us a lot closer. We've been able to have deeper conversations because we know that, well, many people are not in a good place right now. So it's both good and bad, right? But I mean, a bit of perspective is worse for a lot more people. So you should always look at yourself and say, maybe it's not what I wanted, but it's a lot worse for people who have been directly impacted, who've lost loved ones, and also try to be as supportive as we can. So life continues. We'll be better for this. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Babatunde. And on that note, we'll round up. And I want you guys to always remember that, you know what, challenges and opportunity are the same, two different sides of the same coin. So bye, guys. Thank you for joining us, and see you next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much. I see you all. Bye.